Greetings, Vigor Warriors, Vigor Warriors 2. We are back again with another episode. And this channel, once again, Vigor Warriors 2, is dedicated to people who want to become their best version of themselves, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually. And I am your host and trying to kind of figure out what kind of information you want. So first of all, thank you for all the subscriptions, comments, likes. A lot of these topics that I take are coming right from your questions, and I have another one today on this one. And, continue doing that. And I'm happy to keep doing videos. I want to get this information out. And since I've been on my journey, now I have no fear of doing these type of things. So I think it's wonderful, and I'm happy to, help any way I can. And we have to continue to fight this battle and hopefully get more and more people on board to kind of become the true male and female that they should be. Now, once again, the females, I don't focus as much on the female because I'm a male and I can see it from that perspective only. But there's a lot of important things, and one of these things we're going to talk about today does involve women when it comes to validation. So the topic of this one is going to be sex and validation. So this comes from one of my great viewers, Daniel. So thank you, Daniel. A shout out to you on a good question here. And his question was talking about the role that validation plays when you're relapsing and you're doing a bunch of different things to kind of, fall into a pattern of peer pressure and trying to get other people to like you and those type of things. And so it's a good question, and it focuses really on a lot of the ideas we've talked about as well. So let's kind of delve into this, and before that, subscribe and like and comment if you like what we're doing here. We'll continue doing it. Let's kind of focus on this a little bit. All right, so we know that the key thing on this journey is to keep our energy. Now, someone like myself who's 60 years old, I've been through a lot of these battles over the years. And when I was 20, 25 years old, I had a lot of peer pressure issues. So I understand it, right? I understand that if everybody's telling you, and I saw a video today talking about the fact that, how many times have you relapsed? And it was actually women. It was kind of an interesting type of video. And women were afraid to say they never relapsed at all, or they never lost energy at all, right? They kept saying, well, maybe 2-3 times a week. And so it was always pushed to this idea that you must go ahead and lose your energy. And I think that's a terrible attitude, a terrible idea. And I think that society needs to go back and change what they're doing. And they're not going to do that because lots of money right now in these type of things. But for those rare individuals who, like yourself, who's viewing this, and in my case now, after all these years, realizing the power and the potential of being able to have that power within you. But remember, you have a lot of forces against you, not only the images and the movies and the TV screens and all the things around you. You have people around you, peer pressure. When I saw this video talking about, trying to put pressure on the women, saying, oh, how many times have you, released, your energy over the last week, it was incredible. Some of them were hesitant. They're young girls, 20, 22, 25 years old. They were having trouble saying no. And I'm sure some of them have not ever done that. But then they couldn't believe the fact that no one did that. And so you go to the days, and back in the old days, celibacy, retention, brahmacharya was something that really kind of saved a lot of people, saved the country, because you had people that weren't draining their energy, so they could do a lot more constructive types of things. But remember, you're always going to have problems with people because of the journey you're on. So let's look at the example that Daniel gave you. He was talking mainly about people who are releasing because they see a hot girl and they're afraid not to release because of what their friends are saying and the validation that he's going to get from his friends. Now, women have the same kind of validation issues. People have the same kind of validation issues when it comes to attention. A lot of people do things because of influences of other people. Now, being 60 and not given a care about what people think anymore, I've kind of been through all those wars. And so I can give you my opinion that you shouldn't give a you-know-what about what people think. But that's easy for me to say at 60 years old. At 20 years old, 30 years old, I understand the pressures. I understand that you want not to, maybe lose your friends, lose that validation from people around you. However, gang, you're going to put yourself in a box, and I did that many times, because down deep you know what is right. In my opinion, the people who are viewing this, the people who believe in this retention and believe in this, are the chosen ones at this time, at this moment, to become the true leaders in the next 10 to 15 years. Now, at my point, I'm 60. Who knows what's going to happen to me by the time I get 75 or 80. But 20 years old, you guys are going to be the leaders. You, girls and guys, can do this. Brahmacharya for women is strong too. But you have to go ahead and realize that you're chosen. There's a reason why you learn this information. There's a reason why you're listening to me. There's a reason why I become involved in all this. And I believe it's because you're chosen to be the person who has the information, the light, to send out to other people. And they'll send out to other people. And all of a sudden now we start changing the society again. It was like this in the opposite way back in the 50s until people realized that, you should be letting go of your energy all the time. And now that became the common norm because a bunch of people kept pushing that idea. Well, to me, it's got to go back the other way. But one of the issues that has to be dealt with, as Daniel's talking about, is validation. Well, gentlemen and ladies, you're going to have to deal with this issue. There's not two ways around this, okay? If you're going to be on this journey, you're going to catch the criticism, the complaints from your friends who are not on this journey. They may actually make fun of you, right? And girls may make fun of you too. Women may make fun of you because they're saying, "What's the matter? You're not going to go all the way. You're not going to give me your energy." So they're going to be upset as well, right? But remember, you're the one who has the energy. You're the one that feels all these great benefits that you're feeling now. If you lose that, well, then you have no one to blame but yourself. And so, as hard as to say, I had to leave my friends. I had to leave girlfriends because I did not feel it was right. And I had some situations where I was kind of trapped because I was losing my energy and I felt sucked in, right? And I've just been blessed over the years now to be able to kind of move ahead of this, and now at the point where I can actually do monk mode long term and, kind of get away from some of this stuff. But it's still around. It's harder every day to basically get away from all the temptation and all the validation. I still have validation issues when it comes to people around me. Standing up for yourself, whether you're talking about this issue or some of the other issues going on around us, is not easy, my friends. But in order to be strong, in order to be that leader, you're going to have faith that what you're doing is right. And what you're doing is saying no to your friends who make fun of you, who are going to give you a hard time because you didn't release, and you didn't fall into losing energy. And that woman that you were with, you decide not to do that with, and not upset because she may reject you because of that, okay? Let me tell you this, my friends. No person is worth it if they reject who you are and what you're trying to do. If they're not supportive of the things you're doing, then move them on. Now, I realize family members is tough to do with, but just in a family case, you're just going to have to kind of move away from those people and do what you can. Because family members, obviously, you need family. But if they don't understand, if they're not supporting what you're doing, then I would say that you're going to have to move past that. So in this case that Daniel's given you, it was a great question. Thank you, Daniel, again. You need to kind of really focus on the idea that I don't give a what people think. I'm going to do my purpose. I'm going to keep doing this. And if the woman that is with me doesn't like me because of it, well, there's plenty of other fish in the sea. And if my friends don't like it, then I'm going to have to move on. Now, that's a true leader, because now you're standing up for yourself, right? Now you're standing up like that one song Jimmy Dean did, right? You know, stand like an oak tree, right? Big Bad John. And that's the kind of person you want to become. We need more men and women like that. Standing up for their values. Not these so-called people who think they're tough, say tough things, act like they're tough people, but they don't stand for anything. They're standing for corruption. They're standing for other things out there that are going to corrupt your mind, that corrupt your, attitudes. Peer pressure, okay? You got to learn how to say no to these people. And certainly say no to lose your energy. Like I said, if you have a situation where you're married or you have a situation where you're seeing someone and you feel as strong that this relationship's going to last for a long time, well, that's a little different. And now you can go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to lose my energy a little bit here. Realizing it's going to take some time to build it back up. And you're young. And if you're going to have children, that's great. Have your children like I did. And now go on this trip at this point when you're ready for it. Who knows how long I'm going to live, but I really feel the best I felt since I was my 14, 15 years old before I started playing football. I feel the best I've ever felt. And there's no way that I'm going to do something to hurt my body at this point. There's no way I'm going to go ahead and lose my energy. And no circumstance, no matter what happens, right? And like I said, we have a lot of things around us in society that's trying to dictate things to us one way or the other. And realize that no one can take your energy away from you. No one. And so the validation is something that is more in your mind than anything else. Don't be afraid of what people think. Now, once again, it's easy for me to say that after all these battles I've had over the years. But taking it from me, it is not worth losing your self-confidence, losing your energy, because you're more worried about what people think, your friends think of you. And I hate to say that because I know you've probably been with these people for a long time, but you cannot do that, because now you're going to lose all the things you gained, and you're going to go on one of these other trips like I did where you're doing 2 weeks and go off another 2 weeks, and you do that. I did that for 20 years. Not good. And like I said, I did have some benefits with the Fountain of Youth stuff, which is wonderful, but I could never get to that 6th right, they called it. The 5 exercises I've always done since 1998, but I could never do the 6th one until now, where I've been able to take the long streak. And I feel superhuman even at my age. So, once again, sex is going to be around us. The images of sex, all those things are around us. But remember, guys, that don't allow validation to be influential in you losing your energy, because you're going to be hurt in the long run. All right, until next time, warriors, battle on.